We're going to be talking about that Scream 6 trailer. Dude, Scream 6, I've been covering it since Nev Campbell left the series. Let's talk about the trailer first, and then I'll talk about the drama behind the trailer. Massive in scale. Same thing with Mando. Scream 6, they're taking it up a notch. You guys thought that Jason took Manhattan? No way. This film is straight up New York. You can feel the scope. You can feel how visceral the city is and how, they got the subway in there and the bodega. Got Ghostface with a pump. Oh, dude, I'm so stoked for this. And then like you have the Bat Cave of Ghost Faces, all the suits from Ghostface and all the other Easter eggs in there. But yeah, I'm not gonna break down every single Easter egg because there's other videos that do that. But there's Easter eggs all throughout that warehouse looking thing. It looked like it was an old abandoned movie theater, and they got the or a theater. They got the ghost faces in the back and all encased, like somebody who's collecting this stuff. My theory is the killer is going to be like a cult. Like they're gonna pull the old Scream 3 script, where there's a cult of Ghostface killers, probably the Reddit group from Scream 5, because that's how those two killers met, on that Reddit group. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like maybe a stab fanatic cult, I definitely think there's more than one Ghostface because on that subway, you see like 3 or 4 of them. And then there's that one Ghostface that's got the mask all cracked and looking old because he's collecting memorabilia, or they're collecting memorabilia. Oh, is it Stu? Stu's still alive? No, he's not. Okay. He's not alive. Kevin Williamson has confirmed he's not alive. Dude had a TV busted open on his head, and that's one of those 90s TVs too, so they're heavy. So all you Gen Z people out there in the world, you've never lifted one of those old school TVs a day in your life. Okay? You don't know how heavy those are. Me and my boys back in the day, we threw a rock through one of those TVs, and it exploded, and that shit rang out like a fucking, I don't know, man. We dipped out so fast. It was loud. It was like, it didn't explode, it like imploded because the stuff inside of it, dude, those TVs are heavy. There's no way Stu, in the story, in canon, there's no way Stu will survive that. And then behind the scenes, we're going to transition here. Behind the scenes, Matthew Lillard is supporting Nev's boycott, and how she wasn't paid her worth, and she's the star of the franchise, and you know how that goes, right? He's backing Nev, so there's no way that Matthew's in this movie, knowing that Nev isn't in the movie. He's supporting Nev. It is what it is. I would love for Stu to be alive, and for Matthew Lillard to come back as Stu and be the main character of Full Circle. I just don't think that's what's happening here. They're going to pivot, just like how they're pivoting with away from Nev Campbell. Listen, man, she low key fucked up. She low key fucked up because between her quitting, them filming this movie, and Wednesday coming out, the Netflix show, Jenna Ortega has surpassed her whole cast. She's surpassed Nev Campbell. She's one of the biggest horror actresses in the industry right now. She did X. She did Scream. What else? I'm missing something else. And Wednesday. And you can throw in Wednesday into that horror category because it's macabre shit. So yeah, it's very unfortunate that Nev Campbell didn't choose to come back. But know this. If this movie is successful, and it's looking like it's going to be very successful, not only because the last Scream movie was one of the best Scream movies that came out, it got great reviews from the audience, the critics loved it, it made its money back, but now Jenna Ortega has transcended from this small pool of actresses. She was in You, she was in She was in other just like smaller things. The the Fallout, right, on HBO Max, right? She was in these things, but now that she did Wednesday, and then she did this last Scream movie, Wednesday brought her up into the next pool of actors. And yeah, that's unfortunate for Neve Campbell because they're not going to need her to come back anymore. They're not going to need her to come back. And if Jenna Ortega lives in this movie, guaranteed she's going to be in the next one and she's going to be paid more because of what she's been doing to boost her career. And I'm not talking shit about Neve Campbell, but she hasn't been working like that in years. She did that NBC or ABC television series that got canceled recently. That's about it. And then she did that Tower movie with Dwayne Johnson. So, when it comes down to it, dude, like, she's not going to get a bigger payday at this point than Jenna Ortega because Jenna Ortega is more, not a necessity, but she's in demand. She's more in demand than Neve Campbell is at this point. So, yeah. Sorry, Neve. It sucks, dude. But yeah, between her not doing this movie and the release of this movie, Jenna Ortega, that's my takeaway from this whole thing. She's now the face of what is, and she's not even the main character. Her sister's supposed to be, Billy's daughter, is supposed to be the main character. But now Jenna Ortega is this huge star, and you're damn right she's going to overshadow this movie in the cast. So I don't know if she's making it out of Scream 6, but she's definitely going to elevate the box office. Yep. And you got Hayden Panettiere coming back. Kirby from Scream 4. Her coming back, that's going to boost up the numbers. Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox, she's coming back. All these people are coming back, But when it comes down to it, the trailer was dope. Like I said, the scale, the vibes is very visceral. I keep saying that. It looks a lot more. The story looks different. It gives me like Scream 3 vibes as far as like the mystery of it, because Ghostface is telling Gail like, "Oh, I'm not like the others. This is something else." Okay, bet. Okay, there's probably like 8 of them. I wouldn't go that far, but there's probably like 3 Ghostface killers. I'm thinking there's 3 of them, dude. I'm calling it. I would be very surprised if Stu's still alive, but no, I'm jumping around here. Just dude, Matthew is supporting Neve, and they keep comparing fucking Neve Campbell to Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, dude, Jamie Lee Curtis has been in more successful movies. Her filmography is a lot more extensive than Neve Campbell's. It's just, and the budgets are different from those Halloween movies to compare to the Scream franchise. They're totally different things, man. Yeah, it's a legacy. Neve is a legacy character. Yeah, but the budgets don't support what she wants, and that's just what it is. You have this huge. Have you seen the poster? You guys have seen the trailer. This cast is stacked. You wouldn't have that many characters if Neve Campbell was in this movie. Half of those characters wouldn't even be in the movie. But you have to pay your upcoming talent, and especially if you have a huge ensemble cast. And you got the whole thing is here. Like, are you a team player? Courtney Cox, team player. Hayden Panettiere was not acting. She didn't have an agent. They had to track her down. And she's like, "Yeah, I want to come back. I would love to come back." And as soon as she said that, they found her. And then she's in it. So it's not always about money. And, there's 2 ways to look at it. I'm right in the middle here. You should be paid your worth. But when it comes down to it, do you want to work with this cast? How much do you care about this fan base? There's just a lot of factors that go into this thing besides money. And if it's just all about the money, then how does that look? In 10, 20 years, people aren't going to be saying like, oh yeah, Nev Campbell, she didn't get paid her worth. No, they're going to be like, oh, she's not in this one for some reason. That's all that's going to be said. Oh, that's the one where she's not in it. But it's still going to be, it's not going to be talked about like why she wasn't in it. It's just going to be a misstep in her career, because in order for her to keep that momentum going, she would have needed Scream 5 or Scream 6. And now that she's not in Scream 6 and she doesn't even have that show anymore, like, dude, she fucked up. But yeah, comment your thoughts on this Scream 6 trailer. I'm not here to hold your hand, guys. Same thing that happened with my Ezra Miller conversation last week. I'm not here to hold your hand, dude. Hollywood does not care about your feelings, dude. Let it go. These actors and actresses, they're going to fight for the most amount of money. And they either take it or they leave it at this point. And if you're not wanting to work with your cast, just think about this. When they were filming Scream 5, when they were filming Scream 6, my mistake, they were working their hardest to make the best movie possible. All these actresses were they were doing behind the scenes videos, making TikToks or whatever to hype up the pre-production and production of the movie. And while all this was going on, Nev Campbell was going on a press run, bashing the producers, bashing like she's like, oh, I regret doing Scream 5. It just didn't, like, she was just talking mad shit about the franchise. During the production of Scream 6, like, your castmates, your crew members, it's just unfortunate, dude. She just seems really salty. It's like because she didn't get a bigger paycheck than she thought. And it's like, bro, if Courtney Cox is coming back, she was on Friends, dude. She's got Friends money. What have you done, Nev? You don't have that filmography. You did Wild Things. You think you're worth all this money when you did Wild Things in the 90s? Come on, dude. Come on. And like, yeah, the fans will always go to her and, oh, she is the face of the franchise. Well, that's why she's not in Scream 6, right? And that's why the trailer looks kick-ass, right? And that's why it looks, even Kevin Williamson's like, this is Scream 6, but it's a separate kind of thing, because they're ramping shit up. They're not fucking around. Jason Takes Manhattan, the third act of the movie, but not anymore. This one, they're in New York. They're expanding the scope of what this franchise can be. They're growing. They're going outside the box. They're not relying on just the old talent. Yeah, the old talent is still there. But when it comes down to it, Ghostface is eternal. Just like Jamie Kennedy said on one of his podcasts a few weeks ago, like a month ago. Ghostface is the face of this franchise. Not Nev Campbell, not Courtney Cox, not David Arquette, not Jamie Kennedy. Ghostface is the franchise. It can be anybody. It could be you. He's eternal. Ghostface will live forever. There's always going to be a Ghostface.